Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Stamping A to Z. I'm Linda Gibbs. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Canada. Oh, that's a full breath. Welcome to my live. I do my live every Wednesday at noon Mountain Time. Happy 2024. This is the first one for the new year. Today is the last day for last chance items at the mini catalog from the winter. When I turn it around, I'll show you. It is ending today and our new catalog starts tomorrow. So this is your last chance to get the retiring items. There are some carrying over. Today I'm using one of the last chance items, which I haven't had a lot of time to play with, so I wanted to play with it. And it was one of the first sets I picked out of the mini catalog because it spoke to me, and my oldest, he loves lots of different birds, mostly like the eagles and the hawks and those kind of prey kind of birds, but these owls, he used to read all the owl books. Hello, Yolande. And yeah, so the owls spoke to me. It's a really beautiful set. So I just wanted to play with it and showcase it. I'm adding in some of the new products that are coming out tomorrow. If you want to get the best bang for your buck, or I don't know if it's the best bang for your buck. If you want to get in on the last chance items and some of the new items, the only way you can do that today is if you sign up for the starter kit, and then that way you're able to choose from the new and the old catalog. As of tomorrow, it'll just be the new catalog. So yeah, that's a way if you only want to put in one order. If you want to do separate orders, that works as well, if there's still some things you want from this retiring catalog. All right, let's get started and have some fun and turn you around here. Oopsie. That didn't turn when I wanted to turn. Okay, oops. I thought I had it so that the light wasn't shining in there, and now it is. Okay, that'll do. Alrighty. Let's see if we can get this onto the iPad. I updated everything. So hopefully this whole freezing up thing will be a thing of the past and I'll be able to see comments. My room backwards. Is it backwards? I guess so. Yeah, it would be. Yeah, so I did remember very last minute to put up the host code for this month. And so this is one of the new toys that we're gonna play with today. This is the bundle that is retiring. Unfortunately, it's not on sale, but it's retiring. So yeah, it's got some fun, like woodsy kind of stuff, and then it has the owls that go with it. So this is the bundle. And then we're also using this Fragrant Forest, which is one of my favorite background stamps that's in here. That one is, I don't think it's retiring. I think it's carrying over. So that one will still be around. And then we've got these two. So this is the catalog that's retiring. This is the new catalog that starts tomorrow. If you want a copy of the new catalog, you can let me know. And I will get one to you. Current customers who've bought in the last 6 months will be receiving one automatically. All right. Bundle and our first card. Oh, I'm also bringing a few other things from the new catalog. So keep your eyes posted and see if you can pick out what is new. There's quite the shadow on here, isn't there? And now my comments. So my iPad has not frozen up, but my comments have disappeared. It doesn't seem old enough to retire, right? I know. Okay, so the other, well, I guess I shouldn't say. So I'm going to be using these perennial postage dies as well. I love the stamp kind of look. And we've got some some cardstock, and I don't want to show you the finished card yet. Don't want to ruin it for you. So this is designer series paper that is from, I always forget the name, Winter Meadow designer series paper. I don't think this one is retiring either. I think I saw it on the to keep post list. Oh my goodness, my words as usual are escaping me. Okay, so we're gonna start by making this. Where did my other dies go? So I want to make this tree trunk is my end goal here. Maybe I'll go this way. And so I'm going to start by using my blender brush, and I'm going to take my lightest brown. I'm going to use 3 different browns. So here I'm going to use crumb cake. Uh-oh. Looks like I froze up again. Oh my goodness. Well, that didn't last long. But usually the comments continue coming. So hopefully I'll just have to look in my phone every once in a while and try and see. So I'm just going to take my blender brush and I'm going to, so this is the new glass, what do you call it? Glass surface that you can get as part of the starter kit if you join. You can choose to get this as well as, which I should be using, this nice fandangled silicone. It sticks, and so rather than having to hold, it holds for you. And the nice thing with the glass too is I find if you kind of start on the glass and then come on, you get a smoother transition instead of the, like where you get the kind of, like, yes, it starts out darker because there's more ink on there, but you don't get that ugly kind of, what do you call it? It's kind of like stippled, or like this weird kind of bloop. Bloop. Is that a technical term? Okay. Put a bit more. Ugh, I hate it when like that, kind of when you get the streaks. Streaks, that's the word I'm looking for. All right, so we've got a bit of brown on here. Now I want to cut it before I do the rest, because this is where the new wonderful brayer is. Oops, why didn't I move this whole thing off at once? All at once. Now to clean this, so what also comes within this, the glass mat and the silicone mat as a starter part of your starter kit, is this nice little chamois cloth. Picks up everything all nice. And then we want to run this through. So let's grab our big boss here. And we're just going to run this through. Now, the reason I started, you'll see there's some lines that come out of this. And so when we use our brayer, it won't go in between the lines. And you'll kind of get some two-tone happening. So let's take that off. Take our, oh, hi Marcy. Not very late. Oh dear, I don't know what's sticking. Okay, so then we have our tree trunk. And we want to keep this extra little eggy piece here at the back because we're going to use it. So then this to me does not look like a tree bark yet at this point. So I'm going to take the pecan pie and we'll put it on the, see, the one thing is for videos, it's not big enough. I usually keep it off to the side of my mat, but then you wouldn't be able to see all this wonderfulness. So I'm going to move this. I'm going to bring a piece of paper here. And depending on, so since this is narrow, I can go this way on my stamp pad. But if you're doing something wider and you want to go this way, then you could go that way. But I'm not going to worry about it. Now, I'm just going to show you So you want to do it a few times so it's fully. And then if you are careful about this and you do one pass, when you go onto a scrap paper, you can actually get another print of the tree, which is kind of cool. So if you wanted to like really make some designs, you could. Now this still, to me, needs more. So I'm going to go again, and if you want to start at the top this time, and then we'll go off. It's still not quite tree enough for me. So I'm going to take the next darker brown, which would be Early Espresso, but it's not in my pile for some reason. I'm not sure. Oh, it went back in the stash. Right? Isn't that cool? So this new brayer, it picks up the ink. It's like a sticky rub, not like super sticky, but it's like a sticky rubber. It's not like the old hard one that we had. And it's definitely not like the foam ones we've had. And it has these nice little feet that sit. And like you saw, it picks up the print of whatever you're rolling on. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, and since I'm going from lighter to darker, I'm not cleaning my brayer in between. As long as you roll it off, it's okay. I could be rolling this on the piece of paper if I really want. I don't want it too dark though, so I'm just gonna kind of roll it off a little bit and then do a quick kind of, what do you think? Does it need a bit more? I think that's probably good. I might even go back for the pecan. But anyways, that's my tree trunk for now. I'm not going to go crazy. I do want to have this little hole in the background be nice and dark too. Oops. Let's get... Okay. So now we've got our dark background. We need to clean up our mess so we don't get it all over our cardstock. So I'm just going to bring in my little chamois here. Oops. Let's wipe this. And because it's like, it's almost dry, but it's wet, you don't have to worry about it being wet when you put your cardstock down, because by the time I get to it, it should be nice and dry. Okay, so, and if you wanted to, you can set it down and clean it and roll it while you go. So the whole point of the feet is A, to avoid the mess, but B, also brayers tend to flatten out if you store them and they're just sitting on the roller itself. So it's nice to have those feet. All right, move that out of my way here. Then I need an owl. So, I might have put my, oh no, it's this guy, I think. This is the guy I want. And then I'm going to use the Early Espresso again. Hopefully you guys are just being quiet because now my comments are staying as is. So I'm just going to try and get them here on the white part. Now you could color him in. I'm taking this one as a snowy white owl, and I'm going to cut him out. He has a die that matches. That's this one. So we will cut him out. I didn't, I was going to use the magic of television, and then I had a bunch of things that I had to do, like the tree trunk and stuff, and so I, no magic of television today. I'm going to do the slow, the full version, full meal deal. Okay. So then we've got our little owl, and of course I lowered it. If you go back and look at my, they were about a month ago, I did a video on how to get your die perfectly centered. If that's something that bothers you, you could always cut that lower part off if that bothers you. I'm not going to be too fussed about it because it's actually going to be hidden behind the tree. So the next step is to get our owl placed in our tree here. And so I'm just gonna, oops, we don't want to hide him. I also don't want to, there we go. Something like that. So once I know kind of where I want him, him, I don't know. I'm gonna put some glue on the tree trunk and just kind of get that in place like so, where I like it. And then once it dries, I'm going to cut that tail off because we don't want to see that. It looks kind of crooked to me. What about you guys there? I think that's, oops, and maybe I wanted his feet lower down. There, that's how I. So if you're using glue, you can reposition. I mean, if you don't stick it so hard with the Stampin' Seal, you can move it as well. Okay, so we've got our snowy owl, and then I'm going to want it on this paper. So I need to know kind of where to put my background here. It's gonna get cut down, but so I'm gonna glue this puppy down here. Right about there. Gave myself lots of wiggle room with this piece. And then I'm going to pop this up. So like I said, I need to cut my tail here. Okay, and then we're going to put some dimensionals. So go like this. I hope everyone had a great Christmas and New Year's. We had a bit of a scare with one of our dogs on just before New Year's. She ended up getting, it's supposedly pneumonia. I'm not totally convinced that's what it was, but she's on antibiotics and she seems good now, so that's all that really matters. All right, you probably are wondering why I'm putting so many. You don't have to, but I just like, I think if it goes in the mail and it goes through all the getting pushed down, it might look funny when it comes out. So I've started being a little more generous with my dimensionals, hence I keep running out, and then I wonder why. It's probably why. Okay, oh shoot, oh you guys, I totally was not supposed to do that. I wasn't even supposed to put the dimensionals on yet. I wanted to run it through the cut and emboss. I might have to cut it after. So before I take this, I was gonna take my postage dies here. I'm gonna take this smaller one and I want to cut this down, but I was gonna, so what I did with the original was before putting the dimensionals on, I just laid it on here loose and I ran it through the die and then I stuck it down so it had the nicely cut edges. But because I was not thinking, we will have to do it differently. So we will run this through. One last turn. And then we have our nice postage look here. It's just another kind of look to it. Now, I thought I had pre-cut, maybe not. Okay, I'm going to show you another thing that I've been doing. I've stuck it to my... Okay, now I can peel all of this. Thanks, Yolande. See you later. I'll try and catch the end of your live. Overlapping lives. All right. So then I'm going to line it up with my little background here. Now I could leave it like that. I guess I could leave it like that. What do you think? Should I leave it? Okay, I'm going to pull out the card anyways because we're going to run out of time with the other stuff. So this is supposed to be the simple card. All right, this is the card. Different tree colors. So you can see here, I cut it out with the postage stamp. Here, we've got the tree. You like it like this, Marcy? I think I like this one better as well. Where's my background? So what I was going to say, yeah, I definitely like this one better. I think it's partly the coloring too. Anyways, you could put a happy birthday, you know, it's wintry, but winter is still a few more months. This isn't a Christmas set by any means. It's more, and even it doesn't have to be winter if you used a different background, which you will see. Actually, maybe they're all, no, one of them's not wintry. Anyways, yeah, so that's the first one. And I used here, if you want to know what those are, they are the in color dots. They're in the annual catalog. So that's the first one. Next, we have okay, let me, oh, I don't want to lose my dies and everything else. Okay, I need a bigger workspace. All right, so then I took a piece of designer series paper. This is from the, what's it called? The One Horse Open Sleigh designer series paper, which can be found on the online exclusives online. And I need to cut it down, so I need my cutter here. But before I cut it down, I need to decide where my stuff is going to go. So I have pre-cut, so I did do some magic of television. I pre-cut some mountains and trees from the Forever Forest dies. These are also in the mini catalog. I looked yesterday at what was retiring and what wasn't, but I didn't write it down, and now I can't remember. Forever Forest, I believe these ones are retiring. Maybe not. These might not be retiring. I can't remember. It'll say when you go on the store, it'll tell you if they're retiring or not. So anyways, I've cut out 3 of the trees. And it says retiring soon if they are retiring. If not, then it won't say retiring. Okay, so then we've got our mountains. And our trees. And you know what? I'm not even going to build it up because like I said, my next one is going to take even longer. And I want to show you more the techniques of things rather than how to put the card together because it's just a card and you can glue it together. So this is kind of what I did. Okay. So pretend that's like that. If you, I don't know if you can see, there is kind of an embossed ridge to the mountains. So if you want to kind of make that seem better, what I did do, I took some pigment ink, the Whisper White, and I took my dedicated old aqua painter pen, and I just came in, which this doesn't have any water in it. I have some water here. I'll just spray my lid with some water. Otherwise, normally I would just squeeze the water out, but so I want it light, and then you can just come in and add some snow to where that embossed, debossed, I guess. Not the raised part, but the lowered part. And you can add your snow to that. You can put it as dark or as light, and it will kind of soak in a little bit, not all the way. So you can do that to your mountains. You'll see that my mountains have the white added to them once we get to that part. So we'll set that aside. Then we need our owl. So we have this beautiful flying owl. I used some basic gray. I took the cutter out so I could cut I'm like bouncing around today. Okay, focus, focus, focus. I was sitting there watching another YouTube while I was waiting to start, and then I realized I hadn't gotten my host code for the month, so I quickly ran and did that. Now, I could leave this open and do a bit of watercoloring. This is just basic white though. So then I could use this, or you can take your blender brush and try and, not blender brush, blender pen. If you do it, it kind of smears the ink, but I think I want a bit extra color. So rather than use the basic gray, I'm going to go to Smoky Slate, which is lighter, and just use, we'll pick up some of that. I want it quite light, and just add some color to this guy here. Could have left it just like that first one, but I just wanted to add a bit of, just a bit. Right? It's got to have a bit of color. Doesn't have to be a lot. So I'm just using the blender pen because with just your basic white cardstock, you don't want to be using a lot of water. You can use a bit, you just don't want to use a lot. And then I know I'm always quiet when I color. Okay, so he's got a bit of shadows, and not that gray's a color, but he's got some color. So once again, there is a die to cut him out. I won't bother doing that. I'll just show you the finished. But before we get to that, the sentiment is where kind of the technique comes into play. And you have to do the puzzle to figure out how to put them back to fit on the magnet. All right. So we've got our owl here, and then I've got something new, something fun and new. Okay, it is the Thoughtful Moments Hybrid Embossing Folder and Dies. So it's a 3D it's a hybrid. So you've got the, if I can get it out, with the embossing folder. And we've got the dies, and you can see I've pre-cut a bunch because it cuts all of them out at once. So we've got, you've got a bunch of little pieces, but then you've got the words here, which is the piece we want. So it's hybrid, meaning that you can put the, if you put it the right way, it must be on the wrong side here. No. What's going on? Why am I... Why isn't it locked? Oh, there we go. I just wasn't locking in the right way. So you can put it in and it locks into place. But before I lock it into place, I want to color this. So this is where the brayer comes into play, wherever I put it. And I'm going to take the Misty Moonlight, I believe, is the paper that I had cut and that goes with that designer series paper. So I'm going to take some Misty Moonlight and where's my, hang on, hold the phone, I forgot a piece of paper. 6x6, I've got a piece here. I should. Okay. That way I can get it all. You could do just pieces and parts, but you know, if you're doing it, you may as well do it all. So I want to ink up this side. It's the, so they both feel raised, but one is like just the outline is raised, and this one is the kind of the full lettering raised. So here I'm going to go on the wide part, and I'm just going to come in and because, so you can see I did get a bit there, because if there's too big of space, the brayer will fall in and color it, but that doesn't really matter because you're cutting out. So you have two options here. You can emboss this just like this to get the print on, or you can place and do it all at once. You just, when you're putting this on, you want to try and not do like that, because then you might rub off some of the ink. And then I'm going to put my paper on, and then we will close it. And then we get to just run it through the Big Boss. So we take off all of our cutting plates here, and we take out our 3D plate. So we just have the #1 base and our 3D plate. And then we just roll it on through. Okay. I'm wondering if it's, you know what, maybe I should have read the instructions, because I'm wondering, it feels very tight. I haven't had any issues with it, but maybe it's tighter than it should be. I don't know. Anyways, so then it looks messy for now. And you can see I got some blue on my thing, but that's okay. So you can see the actual words itself. If it's not blue enough or solid enough for you, you can do it again. But that's where I think if you just ran it through first this way and then cut it out, because you can easily line it up once it's embossed. It's kind of like the way the dies stick, so it's easy enough to do. But I'm happy with that. I don't mind that it's kind of a stippledy look, because you will see I'm not leaving it like that. We're gonna do more. So And then I'm going to take the, where did it go? Where's my thinking of you? Over here. Okay, so then you've got some options. You can come in with the brayer again. But before I do use the brayer, I want to take the ink off because I'm going to change. That was the, I don't remember what color was that. Well, that was Misty Moon. Was it Misty Moon? No, I don't remember. Okay, so if you just want to color the tops of this and not kind of in the grooves, so now you'll have a white background and you have the dark blue on the outside, and then maybe you want to go with a little bit of a lighter blue. So we'll take the boho blue. So it is, yeah. And then then you can just kind of, and then you're just inking the, I kind of went heavy-handed. So you're just doing the tops of it while leaving the background. Now, I did not like the look of, where's my paper? The white background against the designer series paper. So see, you can do a print of the words just like we did with the tree, which is super cool. I'm gonna move this. Ugh. Baby wipes don't work as well. Baby wipes seem to smear, whereas the chamois seems to do better. Just, I think it picks up the color more. All right, so I wasn't totally happy with this against the, where is it? This background sky. So you can make your own background if you don't have this paper, but see the white just didn't, shouldn't be there in my mind. So I've got my boho blue because I didn't want to go as dark as the darkest. And then I've got our, then we're going to pull out our blending brush and we're just going to come in and add some color to that. Now it's all dark and you might say, well, I can't really see that very well. And I think it's okay. But if it ends up being too dark, it is quite easy to take a marker and just go over the embossed raised if you really want it to pop more than it is. So you can go through and you can add some more, or you can go, you could have used like the Night of Navy now with the brayer and just gone over the tops to get that darker, but you can see the difference. I don't know if you can see that, how well you can see that. Where's my, where's the camera? It's see, when I don't have a vision with my iPad, I don't know what I'm doing. All right, so that is kind of the idea. So here's the finished card. Our colored owl cut out, so brayered, embossed, markered, matching our misty moonlight, and then here's the white mountaintops. I did Wink of Stella the mountains after I added the white, so that's the next card. Isn't it pretty? Like, these owls are just stunning, and then you can do so much with the backgrounds. All right, next, our last wow card is a fun one. So this one is going to be fun, fun, fun. All right, let me grab, don't fall, don't fall. So for this one, we've got cut out the owl from the die cuts. So it actually comes in 3 different pieces. You have to glue the wings on to the owl. So the easiest way to do that, now I should probably wipe my bluey hands, but you know, all I did, so rather than trying to put the glue on here, I just put the glue kind of on the edge, but see, it kind of came out quite thick there. So I'm just going to spread it. You want it to be very thin, otherwise it's just going to get all over the place. I probably should have done this one wing at a time, because if I try to put it down, I'm going to get myself in trouble. It goes this way. Okay. So we've got one wing, and then we've got 2 wing. Oops, that's a little bit far. Okay, see, isn't that pretty? And then if you see it against the dark background, it pops even more. But I'm going to leave my owl completely white. You probably want to pop out all these extra little pieces that didn't come out before you work with him. But for now, I'm going to just leave him aside. The background is kind of where the fun of this one is at. So I could just brayer the bottom with some garden green, but I'm going to use a blending brush for this because I like it to have kind of a variation of lights and darks. I don't want it all kind of one tone. So I'm just going to do kind of the bottom here, and you'll see why in a minute. I'm too heavy-handed. Let's get the... I'm trying to, instead of taking my time putting the ink on lightly and adding more and more ink, I rush, and then I get all the swirls. I'm not sure how much I need here. So if you wanted a more even look, you could just take your brayer, and it's much, much faster. That's the other thing. The brayer is way faster at putting down color than using the blender brushes. So depending how much color and how much time you have, that can make your choice. So we've got our green here. I'm just going to do a prelim wipe with the baby wipe. And we'll bring in our chamois. Make sure all that green is gone. Set aside the brush. Okay, so next step, we need to dry this to make sure it's fully dry, because I'm going to use some embossing powder on here. So that's the other thing, is if you use the brayer and you put down even more ink, which you will see, I'm going to use the brayer for the next part of this. It'll be that much more wet, so you'll just have to dry it more or wait longer. And you're probably thinking that, wow, it's so uneven, it's going to be ugly, but this is all going to get covered up, so I'm not worried about it. I just wanted the variation for my trees. So then I have my background tree stamp. Isn't this beautiful? Like the texture and the detail is just awesome. So I've got that. I'm gonna come in with my static tool here. Just since it might still have some wet, we need all the help we can get. Trying to get that done. I hope you guys are just being quiet, because I'm not seeing any comments. So if you're commenting, I'm not ignoring you. I'm just not seeing them. I'm sorry. All right, I only want this bottom part though. So the tricky part is to you could mask it if you wanted to. I'm gonna be lazy and I'm just gonna kind of come in and I'm looking from the side to see where the actual ink pad is. So it might look on camera like I'm inking parts that I'm not supposed to. But according to where the pad is and ends, I'm okay. Okay. And if you do this with the, what do you call it? Stamparatus that is no longer available, you could do it multiple times if you kind of miss on your Versamark. I'm just doing a 1/over for the television. Okay, so you probably can't see that. I can see it though. And it looks like it's got some decent ink on it. And I'm gonna pull my clear embossing powder. Put that on. And now you can see the trees. I'm gonna cut this down, so I purposely did not stamp it all the way to the bottom. And I'm gonna take my heat tool off. And I love that this glass mat is heat resistant, so I can emboss right onto the mat instead of holding it up in the air, which is handy in terms of holding it, but it's also handy because it tends not to, what do you call it, warp as much, being on a flat surface. So I like being able to heat it direct on the surface. And you can see it's got a nice color variation within my trees, because you know, trees aren't like a solid green, so you could stamp, like if you're using the Stamparatus, you could stamp the green and then just stamp Versamark on top and have this same thing going on. But I like the variation. I don't know how much it shows, but anyways, that's kind of, there's some powder on there. All right, so I've got my trees, I've got the green. Now I want to cover this all because I am making a night sky. Oh, Marcy, quiet. Okay, you're being quiet. I'm good with that. You can be quiet as long as I'm not missing things. Okay, then I'm using Night of Navy for my night sky. Kind of the perfect name for a color. And then, so here's the thing I'm going to show you. Oh, let me take a piece of paper again. I want to show, it might not show up on here. I don't have, hang on, let me get a clean piece of paper. I want to show that you can do this same thing where you're printing the trees, but using the embossing powder. But just beware that when you're brayering on top of something raised, it doesn't get into the, oh, it didn't do the trees as well. Never mind. It doesn't get into the grooves as well. So I'm going to primarily use this Night of Navy to just get a really dark, as dark as I can. You could go direct ink pad to paper. This gets, I mean, it still gets really soaked with ink, but I just like it a bit not as soaked maybe as if you were, so it gets in there but not quite. So then you have to come in with your blender brush. Look at my hands. This is not, playing with ink is not clean, people. So you can't be a neat freak and want to craft, because that just, well, I guess you can. You could wear gloves. There's ways to get around it. I just want to make sure that it's not going to transfer onto my projects. And then you probably want to have a Kleenex close by just to wipe off the excess ink. But then you can see, once you take the ink off the tops of the Versamark, now you can't really see the detail of the trees. That's why you want to come in with your blender brush. And then you want to get in those, in the trees. And then it gets in, whoop, gets in the grooves. This is what you really want to get. And then you'll get the definition of the trees better. I don't know. We used to have detailed embossing powder and then just the regular embossing powder. And I don't know if they've like just, because they've only gone to one now. I don't know if it's the detailed or if it's just straight, but it used to be very fine. You can see I must have got some Versamark there because it's resisting some of the color. Anyways, and then you're going to wipe it again with your, because you want to wipe so that the green is clear, but now you've got the detail of the trees because the blue got in those little crevices that the brayer couldn't do. So you can see now you've got the details. Okay, and we will wipe it away again. And then we've got our background. Let's see. Oh, it's already been 50. You guys, my things are so long. Okay, I'm just gonna show you the finished card because this was kind of what I wanted to show you with the night sky. If you wanted to finish the night sky like this, where you stamp the stars and the moon, again, you would want to make sure you dried this really well. Use your static powder and then stamped, because otherwise your powder, kind of like here, will stick if it's wet anywhere. So then I just stamped Sending Love with Versamark, added the silver embossing powder, added my, I popped him up with dimensionals. Now the only thing I did do, because you can see this is kind of warpy, so my new thing with trying to get it flat is, so I cut this out with the same postage, although the bigger one, and then I cut out an extra piece, and I actually cut it with the extra thick white, and then I glued it together, and that way it helps it lay flat, so you don't have any, it just looks like a flat paper, and it doesn't look like it was ever warped, which is nice if you want Marcy. Well, I'm glad you're not neat either, because this would probably really bug you if you were. But isn't that pretty? Like, I love it. I might even use this as a birthday card or something for one of the boys, because it's just so pretty. But isn't that fun? So yeah, there's so many techniques you can do with the brayer. It helps many inking ways, many fun, new, playful ways to do that. I can't wait till the new catalog comes out. I can't show you the inside of it today because I have to wait till tomorrow. For those of you in club, January is the Adoring Hearts bundle. It is another one with a hybrid embossing folder. So we're gonna have fun with that. And And I'm going to be using a brayer. So if you don't have a brayer, you can still do it. It just makes life easier if you have one. Brayers also can be found in craft stores. I had the old brayer from Stampin' Up! If you've got old stuff. So pull out your stuff and play. Anyways, hopefully you enjoyed that. If you really love the owls, make sure you put your order in today because it will be gone here today, gone tomorrow. So it's the winter owls. There's the stamp set and the dies. You can buy it as a bundle. None of it is on sale. So unfortunately there's no discount. Sometimes a lot of their stuff is discounted. So if you haven't gone on there yet and taken advantage of that, you can go on there and look. The postage dies are coming out in the new catalog, so you don't have to worry about that. But just these lovely winter owls are leaving us. So if you enjoyed that, and you can't even see it. See, I can't even, I can't see what I'm showing you. I apologize. Anyways, have a good rest of your week. I will have lots of fun new product to show you next week. And if you're still on holidays, have a great rest of your holidays. We will see you next week. Bye.